If you take a ride on a DRIFBLIM, you'll have no idea where you'll end up. Kinda like doing these challenge runs actually. Let's see how DRIFBLIM fares. So today is the first of our 3 Halloween specials. We'll go into more details of those throughout the course of the challenge. And now, if you do want to play this backport or any of the other backports, please do check out the website allthews.trainersquidgy.com. That is where you can download the patches to all of the backports we run together here on the channel. And if for whatever reason a backport is missing, maybe I've just been a little bit careless and forgotten about it, then please do let me know and I will get that sorted. Now, should we take a look at our stats? We are level 5 with 31 HP, holding a berry with Constrict, Minimise, Astonish and Gust. We have 14 in attack, 10 in defense, 15 in special attack, 11 in special defense, and 14 in speed. It's that time of year again. We are doing the Halloween specials here on the channel. All of this week we're bringing out the orange overlay once more, and we are going to be running a bunch of spooky Pokemon. And this year we're going all in on Generation 4. We've got 3 runs coming up this week, all from Generation 4, some of the creepier Pokemon from that generation. And then at the end of the week we've got something special as well. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those, first of all, please like this video, it'll make more of my videos get pushed to you. And second of all, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell and then you'll get told when the videos go live. And of course, to make sure that you can see everything together here on the channel, make sure that you are on restricted mode disabled. Now, I think DRIFBLIM is going to be a very, very interesting challenge because we're in the fluctuating experience group, and if memory serves me correctly, DRIFBLIM and DRIFBLIM are actually the only Pokemon that weren't introduced in Generation 3 that are part of this experience group. We're going to be racing through the levels in the early game, but by the time we get to Blackthorn City and onwards, we are going to be fighting for every single level we can get. So it really is going to be a bit of a roller coaster of levels. We should have a fairly easy start to the challenge as well. There's not much that the enemies can do, considering we're part Ghost type, which negates all of the normal type moves, and then for Falkner we are part Flying type, which means he can't Mud Slap us either. So I think the early part of this challenge is definitely going to be one of the easier parts, to say the least. But we've got a long way to go until the end of the challenge, probably about an hour and 20 to an hour and 30 minutes. So I'll tell you what, let's skip ahead and get ourselves over to Falkner. And we have already made it to Falkner. He is our first gym leader together. He is a flying type specialist, and he's going to lead with Pidgey. It's 2 shots on the Pidgey to knock it out, and it's probably going to be 3 shots on the Pidgeotto, taking a teeny tiny bit of damage en route. We grow up to level 12 and we defeat Falkner to obtain the Zephyr badge in 4 minutes and 4 seconds. With that, we can move on out of here. We're going to get the call from Professor Elm's aide. We'll go into the Pokemon Center. We'll do a quick PP heal, not sure that we actually need that, but it is good to do. We'll grab the egg, and then we will deposit the egg forever and a day in the box. We can start heading through the Union Cave towards Azalea Town. Now we took on just a couple of trainers in the Union Cave and we're out the other side now, so let us catch our Spearow. Kenny the Spearow is going to be helping us out with Fly as long as it gets in the ball. And just like that, we can say thank you to Spearow for joining the team. We will call it Kenya as we always do. And now we can move on further in towards Azalea Town. And of course, the first thing we do in Azalea is we leave it straight away. We're going to catch the other 2 HM friends. Paris is first up today. Paris will be helping us out with Dig, with Cut, and with Rock Smash. And then we're also going to get Psyduck. Psyduck's job is Surf, Strength, Whirlpool, and Waterfall. And the HM friends are very, very important to the runs. They are just as important as the Pokemon we are running. So we have the first 3 HM friends again for another challenge. Let's now move on into our second gym. And after defeating all of the trainers in Bugsy's gym, we are ready for Bugsy himself. Bug-type specialist, so we know exactly how this is going to go. It is going to be 3 one-shots, maybe a 2-shot actually on the Scyther. No, we get a critical hit, so it is a 1-shot after all. And we obtain our next badge in 8 minutes and 42 seconds. There was a slight error in the overlay, it was showing the wrong hidden power type. That's because I was running an older version of the overlay to get it all orange. I have got that fixed in between badges though, and we are ready to take on rival number 2. This one should be a fairly simple affair again. I can't see any issues at all. That Crocodile does not have any dark type moves at the moment, so we get through straight away. 9 minutes and 10 seconds thereabouts for rival number 2. Now let's get ourselves into the forest, and we don't learn Headbutt today. I know, it's an absolutely terrible thing. I wish we learned Headbutt, but that means the only thing we're getting in here today is the Cut HM from the Charcoal Maker, so we'll teach that to Paris straight away. We'll start thinking about Goldenrod City, where we could actually be in for a tricky old gym battle. It's weird, even though we have on paper an immunity to Whitney's gym. She's got rollout, hasn't she? And we know what rollout can do, and especially with us being weak to it, it could be kind of devastating. But now that we are outside of the forest, we will catch ourselves Abra, and then we'll take stock of what we want to do before going in to Goldenrod City. Now that we're in National Park, I am actually going to pick up the Quick Claw. Normally I wouldn't bother if we've got 80 in speed, but because we're in that funny old experience group, I don't know what our speed's going to be when we get to red, so it might actually be necessary. We'll get Dig and we'll teach that to Paris later on as well. And for now, I'm just going to take on a few more trainers, and then we should be ready for Whitney's gym. And we have made it into Whitney's gym. She is our 3rd gym leader together, a normal type specialist who leads with Clefairy. Clefairy's metronomed Rock Slide, that was kind of brutal of it. So we're only on 90 HP now for the Miltank. She's locked herself into rollout. Ideally we are looking for a rollout miss, but instead we get a rollout crit. Let's try again, shall we? Hopefully this time we'll get a little bit of better luck. We're going into the Miltank at full HP, which is a lot better. So we've just got to hope that she doesn't keep on critting. Goodness me. We're not getting the luck here, are we? Conversion twice in a row there. Different RNG seeds as well, because we crit the Miltank, and the Miltank has not crit us back this time. There we go, that should just be about enough. I don't think we needed that critical hit. Whitney's gym was always going to be about brute force, but we have got through 14:05 for the split there, and 3 attempts for the plain badge. Let's get out of here. I'm sure Whitney's not too happy about us potentially scamming a victory, and we'll think about what we want to do now as we head towards Ecruteak. And we have found ourselves in Ecruteak, and I think the first thing we're going to do is leave, because I want to go up the lighthouse. I want to get the extra experience. I think that would be a good play, because that also means we're able to get the Minceberry. So I'll take on a few of the trainers en route to the lighthouse, and we'll reconvene once we're towards the top. And now that we are at the tippy top of the lighthouse, we will have a little chat with Jazz. She wants the same thing she always does, that bloomin' secret potion. We will give it to her at some point, but before we do that, we're going to pick up strength from the cafe. We're not able to learn that on this run, unfortunately, though. And we'll do a quick little heal before making our way back to Ecruteak. And the first destination I think we'll make in Ecruteak is the Kimono Girls Dance Theatre. I reckon this is going to be the easiest set of battles we will have at the moment, so we shall take them on. We've got oodles of HP, 150 base HP is absolutely massive, so we should be able to do a lot of damage without taking too much back. And then after this we will go into the rival. The only evolution actually that could prove to be a little bit problematic is this Umbreon, and we critical hit it. Maybe the Jolteon as well actually, but I can't see it being too much of an issue. How much does Gust do against this Vaporeon? Quite a lot actually, and we've just got the Jolteon left to go as well. Probably going to have to use Astonish against this Jolteon, and astonishingly, we managed to flinch it. There we go, fairly smooth Kimono Girls. Let's get ourselves Surf, and with that, we can make our way into the Burnt Tower. And now that we are in the Burnt Tower, we will take on the rival for a third time. This time, he is going to lead with his own Ghost-type Pokemon with Haunter. So, we shall use Astonish against the Haunter, we'll knock it out in one. We grow to level 29 and Magnemite comes out to play. We've got Mud Slap that's capable of one-shotting it. And then we've got something for the Zubat. Even though Bites did a little bit of damage, we're absolutely fine. Let's fish for the flinch against this Croconaw. He's now got Bites, so he's going to be dealing super effective damage. But relatively low special attack and high HP meant we stayed in the green for that battle. Let's now fall through the floor and take on Morty. I genuinely think that Sage Ping in this gym might be the worst of all the mandatory trainers we come up against. 5 repetitive Ghastly in a row is incredibly egregious. We'll have to take out our frustration now on Morty. He's a Ghost-type specialist much like us, but unlike us, we actually know what we're doing. So we will get through all of his Pokemon incredibly quickly. One-shot City barring the Gengar where we flinched it. Damageless Morty in a time of 22 minutes and 12 seconds. Let's now start heading to the Lake of Rage to get ourselves Hidden Power. I don't normally do this, but I'm on my way to pick up Hidden... I don't normally do this, but we're on our way to pick up Hidden Power, so I thought, why the heck not take on the Gyarados at the same time now? Might as well, it's right here, saves us a trip back to the Lake of Rage later. We'll have a little chat with Lance now, even though we've not got Chuck's badge yet, and we'll just ignore him until we're ready to face the Team Rocket section later. That's thrown me a little bit, actually. I'd never normally do that. But I just thought, it's right there. Why the heck not? Let's now continue up towards the proper bit of the Lake of Rage. The non-lakey bits, where we will get ourselves the rare candy. We'll also get Hidden Power and teach that in place of a Mud Slap. Our Hidden Power today is mostly focused on Jasmine and the Rivals Magnemite line. But it could come in handy as just a Common or Garden good move for the mid part of the challenge, so we'll teach that straight away over Mud Slap, and then we will teleport all the way back to Olivine City. And now we find ourselves in Cyanwood City already. This is where our third gym leader is going to live. This is, of course, Chuck's gym. We're going to get through the gym trainers, and then we will take Chuck on himself. And with all the gym trainers beaten up, we can now take on Chuck. He is our 5th gym leader together. He is a fighting type specialist who leads with Primeape. And it's a one-shot on the Primeape to get us started. Let's see how much we do against this Poliwrath. We do more than enough to take care of it in 2 shots. And we obtain the Storm Badge in 27 minutes and 5 seconds. With that, I've got a little bit of housekeeping to do. So we'll meet back up when we're ready to take on our next leader. Now, I've decided we're going to take on the gyms in the correct order for once. That means we're taking on Jasmine next. We've given her the secret potion and we need to hot-foot it into her gym before she has a chance to give it to her Steelix. So let's see now how we get on. This is Jasmine. She is our 6th gym leader together today. A Steel-type specialist who leads with Magnemite. And this is where Hidden Power Fire really is going to come into its own. So one shot on both of the Magnemite. Let's see how much we do against the Steelix. Quite a lot. Enough to get her into healing range, but enough to guarantee a 2-shot. We grow to level 35 and we obtain the Mineral Badge in 29 minutes and 27 seconds. I've got an appointment now with a bunch of rockets. I'm not going to make you sit through those. Let's meet back up for Price. And one very quick rocket section later, we are ready to take on Price. He is our 7th gym leader together. He is, of course, an Ice-type specialist who leads with Seal. Now, we do have the type disadvantage at this gym. We're going to have to be very careful, although we do have a move that is capable of 2-shotting, I think, this pile of swine. Fish for the flinch, it didn't work out in the end, but we were still able to get the Glacier Badge in 33 minutes and 55 seconds. With that, we have 7 gym badges. That means that the Goldenrod rocket sequence is about to happen. But first, I'm going to make it a very quick trip through the ice path, and we'll reconvene for Rival 4. And now with about half of the rockets defeated, that does mean it is time for the 4th and penultimate rival battle. He's going to lead with Golbat this time. We don't have anything too great for the Golbat. So we fish for the Omni Boost. It doesn't quite happen, of course. A 1 in 10 chance for the Omni Boost every single time. It will happen at some point, but quite when is anybody's guess. Hopefully it'll happen in the key points throughout the course of this challenge. Lovely critical hit there on the Feraligatr, making it a 2-shot. And now we've got Haunter. We'll use an Ominous Wind, not a hidden power, misclick there. And we get through the rival in just shy of 40 minutes. I've got even more rockets to deal with now. Let's move on to Clair. And now we have made it into Clair's gym. Clair is our final Johtonian gym leader, and she leads with Dragonair. I'm not confident, that Shadow Ball's going to one-shot all of these Dragonair, so I am a little bit nervous that we're about to get Thunder Waved just like that. Let's see, how much can we do against this Kingdra? Can we do enough without needing to take a reset? Let's find out. We can possibly survive one more Surf on 1 HP. We just about get through first try. Goodness me. That is as close as it could ever get. Let's rush into the Dragon's Den now to get our badge. The term skin of our teeth comes to mind for getting this badge, but I am more than happy to get our final Johtonian badge, the Rising badge, in 46 minutes and 59 seconds. And with that, we can start making our way towards the league. And as always, just before taking on the league, we're going to be ambushed by the rival for one last time. This time he's going to lead with Sneasel. We'll use Hidden Power against Sneasel and take it down in 1. And up next is going to be Golbat. We're going to fish for an Omni Boost here. We didn't get it, but we'll take it out with Shadow Ball. Next up is Magneton. We've still got Hidden Power Fire, so we know we can take care of that. We'll use Ominous Wind against the Haunter, take care of that in 1 shot. For Alligators next up, we'll use an Ominous Wind to begin with and finish it off with a Shadow Ball. And then the last, but certainly not least, is Kadabra. 1 Shadow Ball takes care of Kadabra. And we're through the rival for one last time in just short of 50 minutes. And with that, we're at the league. So we're going to heal up, we'll buy our 4 full restores, and then we will take on the league. And hopefully we'll have an easy start, because we're starting with Will. He is a Psychic type specialist, and he leads with Xatu. We have Shadow Ball, and hopefully that will just be the win button for this battle. I think the only Pokemon that might pose a bit of a threat is Slowbro. But no, we take it out in 1. If we can take out the Slowbro in 1, we have no issues anywhere else in the league, and we are through Will in 50 minutes and 37 seconds. We're at a clean level now, so I'm actually going to use all of the rare candies at this point. We absolutely do not want to learn Explosion. It would be the end of us at the end of the challenge run. Let's move on to Koga now. He is our second league member, a Poison type specialist with a bit of a penchant for bugs as well. And we're going to take advantage of his penchant for bugs, because it means that we can use Hidden Power on occasion. No Omni Boost there against the Muck, and we did get hit by a Sludge Bomb. Crobat's next up, and we hit through any double teaming action there. We'll use the Shadow Ball on the Venomoth as well. And that is Koga done. 51-25. Let's move on to Bruno. Gonna use a full restore just to get our HP back, and we'll engage him in battle. Bruno is our third league member. He is a fighting type specialist who leads with Hitmontop. And I think this one is going to be a bit of an eggy battle, honestly. We're not going to have anything too great for him. Although we're going to use the Sandstorm to our advantage here, because it's going to be dealing quite a bit of damage to his Pokemon. Through the Machamp now, and we just have Hitmonlee left to go. We knock it out in 1, and that's Bruno all defeated. Let's move on to Karen. And now the prep work is done for Karen. This one could be tough. Let's see how we get on. She leads with Umbreon. Umbreon has instantly confused us, and we get the Omni Boost off of Ominous Wind there. That is exactly what I was fishing for, and could make this battle an awful lot easier than it otherwise ought to have been. because now we have 222 in attack. That should be more than enough to take care of the rest of her team. A very, very fortuitous Karen battle there. Time of 53:11. Let's now move on to Lance, the Lion with the Flyers. And we're actually going to say goodbye to Shadow Ball very quickly for this battle. And we are going to stick on the Never Melt Ice, and we will also heal up. We've got a super potion, we might as well use that. And let's now take Lance on. He is our final obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame, and he leads with Gyarados. We are going to fish for an Omni Boost against this Gyarados. We don't get it, and we move on to Dragonite. Now, Icy Wind will one-shot the Dragonite, but the question is, will it hit the Dragonite to begin with? The two key Icy Winds have actually happened now. That makes me feel better. We're not getting Thunder Waved. We are going to take a fair amount of damage from a Rock Slide there, but not enough to get me worried. We'll try for another Omni Boost against this Charizard. He critical hits, which is terrible, and I've misclicked. Oh dear. I meant to go into return and press the wrong way. Let's try again, shall we? Hopefully this time I'll click the correct button. Icy Wind on the Dragonite. We know we don't need to worry about any kind of ranges here as long as we connect. Ominous Wind for the Aerodactyl. We take out Aerodactyl damage. And we're back onto this pesky Zard. He doesn't crit this time. Might as well finish off with Ominous Wind. Is this a range on the last Dragonite? Yes, yes it is. Oh dear. Just shows that Never Melt Ice has turned this battle into something a little bit easier than it otherwise would have been. Although it's still not going great for us, I've got to be honest. Let's just hope that we keep hitting our Icy Winds on these two Dragonites. Spoke too soon there, didn't I? Tempted Fate. We're probably going to go into a phase now where Icy Wind continuously misses, because we don't seem to be getting the Omni Boost off of Omni Boost Wind. We've connected with Dragonite number 1 again. Grow back up to level 56. We've hit them both. We are winning with a chance of getting through this battle this time. Let's use an Omni Boost Wind again. Again, we're not getting the Omni Boost. We got two very lucky ones, and now it's just not happening. Flamethrower hits us, and I've done it again, haven't I? We were overdue a very tricky battle, and let's hope that this is the time where we make it through Lance unscathed. As long as both Icy Winds hit, we're in with a fair shot. We've just got to get a little bit lucky against some of his later Pokemon. Rock Slide will always hurt, unfortunately. There's not much we can do there. We'll use Ominous Wind against the Charizard. And we are back onto the Dragonite. Now, will we range it again? No, we won't. We're through this time. That was a much harder Lance than it ever should have been. Time of 57:21 is still perfectly respectable, seeing as we don't actually have that brilliant a learn set. Let's get our final Hall of Fame time now for our DRIFBLIM. We're clocking in at 57:37. Let's take a look at the midpoint leaderboards. And at this middle juncture of the run, we're in 13th place on our Unbound leaderboard and 41st place on our overall midpoint leaderboard. That could all change though, this is only half the story. We've got another 8 gym badges left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere, because Kanto is next. And we are rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we do in Kanto is pick up a rare candy from the chairman of the Pokémon fan club. And with that safely tucked away in our bag for yet another challenge, we are not doing our standard Kantonian routing today. Instead, we are going straight into Mr. Psychic's house to pick up TM29, which does contain Psychic. We shall set our teleport spot to Saffron City for a little bit of quicker movement later, and we are going to go into Erica's gym. Purely because we are the flying type and we don't have the highest attacking stats in the world, we are saving Surge until after Blaine. So we're going to start here at Erica, move to Janine, then it's up to Sabrina and up to Misty, across to Brock, down to Blaine in the Seafoam Islands. Then we're doing Surge, and finally we are taking on Blue. And talking of Blue, if you do want to skip ahead and miss the Kanto chat and all the fun that goes along with it, the Blue fight is going to be starting at around about 35 minutes and 51 seconds. For everybody else who's sticking with me though, let's now sit back, relax and have our standard Kantonian chat. And now it is the season for all things Halloween. I really love Halloween here on the channel. It wasn't really a big thing for me actually as a child. Halloween was kind of a little bit poo-pooed in my household, especially trick-or-treating. My gran used to call that begging. So I never got to really do that apart from one year where I was with my mother and got chased by a dog and all kind of bad things happened. But I'm sure I'll talk about that on another Kanto chat. But yeah, I really enjoy doing the Halloween specials. Partly because I get to tinker with the overlay and I get to add all sorts of special things and make it orange. And also I love a good theme when it comes to the challenge runs and the backports. And I really like the theme we've got this year. Generation 4 is one of the most overlooked generations when it comes to me and backporting. So to be able to do 3 fantastic Generation 4 Pokemon in a row is always going to be a delight. And we're not just sticking to ghost types this time round as well. We are doing 1 ghost type, we're doing 1 legendary mythical Pokemon, and we are also doing 1 Pokemon which evolves from a Generation 2 Mon. I'm sure you can figure out which Pokemon I'm talking about just from those little hints there. And I've got to say, I have had so much fun recording October's content. Like I mentioned in a previous Kanto chat, I'm doing everything in bulk at the moment. So I recorded all 13 of our October Challenge Run videos in the space of about 6 or 7 days. And that was probably a little bit too much to take on at once, but I'm very glad I did it, because that keeps me in the rhythm, it keeps me in the zone, and it keeps me playing the best I possibly can. The longer I leave it, the more things I forget, the more nuances I forget, the more little tricks I forget, and the worse my times are. I think we got very lucky actually starting with Staraptor in this particular set of content, and I have finalised the schedule now until the end of the year. We're going to be having very loose themes throughout November, and then in December we will be picking up on the ice types like we often do in December for the Christmassy vibes. So we have an awful lot of fun to get through in the next few months. And now, because I am working quite far ahead of myself, now is the time to get in your suggestions for what we do in January. It doesn't just have to be a solo run suggestion. January is a bit of a lull month in YouTube, so that is the time to experiment, and that is the time to throw everything but the kitchen sink at the wall and see what sticks. Like I've mentioned in previous Kanto chats, I am open to pretty much all ideas, as long as they don't involve the later generations. But now let's hand back to the live run for Blue. And we have somehow scrapped and scraped our way to Blue. He is our final leader of the challenge, and he leads with Pidgeot. Now we are going to start off with Return against Pidgeot and knock it out in 2. And here comes Rhydon. And the question is this a one-shot against the Rhydon? The answer is unfortunately no. So we are now in Sandstorm. We're going to take this opportunity though to fish for an Omni Boost against this Gyarados. Didn't happen in either of our attempts, so we take a fair amount of Rain Dance damage there unfortunately. Let's try again at Blue. We're going to start off with the same lead as last time, doing Return, because he's likely to Mirror Move, and that means we can knock it out in 2. Let's move on to this pesky Rhydon. Rock Slide does a lot of damage there, goodness me. Let's see how much we can do against this Gyarados. I reckon, you know, we might have to fish for an Omni Boost against this Rhydon. Because we can't do it against Pidgeot. Because we can't hit Pidgeot with Ominous Wind. If we can Omni Boost against the Rhydon, then we should be fine. It's just about getting that Omni Boost. So let's try with an Evermetal Ice, see if that can get us through the Rhydon. At least we don't really need to worry about this Pidgeot too often. It's often going to go for Mirror Move there. This is probably like high roll only will get us a one shot. Let's just keep on trying. We'll eventually get the luck we need. Because this has to be a range now. A crit will also work. Let's Shadow Ball this Gyarados. There we go. We're taking no damage off the Gyarados now. We'll Shadow Ball the Arcanine. A crit there doesn't matter because of the rain. We've got Shadow Ball for the Executor. Leech Seed's frustrating, but it shouldn't be game-changing now. That was arranged the entire time as well. We've only got Alakazam left to go. We can knock it out in one. And there we go. We have scraped through blue. Not a clean battle by any means, but we did get it to get our last gym badge in 1 hour, 14 minutes and 5 seconds. Let's now start thinking about taking on Red. And now for Red, we're going to be making a couple of changes to the learn set. Icy Wind really has outstayed its welcome. We were only keeping it for the Rhydon, and even then we probably didn't need it. We could have gone for something else in that slot. And we're probably going to teach Psychic as well. So let me think about that as I'm going through Silver Cave, and we'll meet up inside. I've decided to put Psychic on the learn set. We're possibly throwing away an easier-ish Snorlax battle here. But I reckon Psychic is going to be the play, especially because we will get charmed by Pikachu here. Let's see how we get on, though. Could be a bit of a toughie, you know. But sometimes you've just got to go for it. I reckon we're going to be fishing for a crit here. In fact, I've had an idea. Ominous, I know when I say that. Why don't we fish for an Omni Boost here? So that we can up our special. Because then, in theory, we should be able to hit the Snorlax a lot harder. We might even be able to get a Spadef drop or two. Let's try again. I realised I made quite a big mistake with the learn set there, keeping Shadow Ball when I meant to keep just Ominous Wind. So I have fixed that, and we'll see how we get on now at Red. So let's keep on trying here at Red. We will eventually get the Omniboost that we need to get through the rest of this battle. There is a reason we're keeping Ominous Wind on the learn set. It's very annoying there that we got charmed. But we get a double Omniboost. I'm not going to complain at that. So our attack is neutral at worst now. And as long as we can 2 to 3 shot the Snorlax, we should be absolutely fine. He's going to go to sleep, but there's not much he can do. Might just be a bit of a war of attrition against this Snorlax. Eventually we'll get a lucky crit. We've got plenty of a return PP though. Just one crit should be all we need to get through this bear. Our other option is to spam Psychic. Try and get a few Spadef drops. And then spam Thunderbolt because we might be able to paralyse it. This is so frustrating. Just being caught in a loop with this bear. I wish I had Disable. I would disable Rest and this would all be fine. I think we need an Omni Boost without the charm. I think that might be the only way, you know. Just like that, we'll finish it off with a return now. And hopefully this time we won't get caught in Bear Purgatory. Please go for Rain Dance turn 1. No, you've gone for Blizzard. Of course you've gone for Blizzard. He's going to go to sleep this turn. Oh, we crit. This is good. Now, we are going to take some flamethrower damage, that's fine. 2 turns should knock this Venusaur out without taking any damage. And then we'll Ominous Wind against the Espeon. We finish it off and we get through in 1 hour, 20 minutes and 43 seconds. Goodness me, what a stressful one that was. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. And we are in 14th place on our Unbound leaderboard, and that translates to 54th place on our overall leaderboard. And that is still a perfectly respectable time for our DRIFBLIM. But we have made it to the end of another challenge now. And now as the full leaderboard plays out behind us, if you enjoyed this one, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more just like this, then click the subscribe button. If you want to see more runs just like this but a little bit earlier, you can always join the channel membership and become a HM friend. But until next time when we are running Weavile through the Spooky Crystal Challenge, I will say thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always, and I will catch you all very soon.